Good, happy Friday morning. It is Friday, August 19, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Friday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, small part of New Hampshire now in extreme drought. The latest U.S. Drought Monitor report shows extreme drought seen in New Hampshire for the first time since late 2020. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Are aches and pains catching up to you? You can relax. Mainly Tubbs Self-Care Summer Sales Event is here. Our wellness.
The latest report from the U.S. Drought Monitor shows a small sliver of the state along the Massachusetts border is experiencing extreme drought conditions. Meanwhile, the Seacoast, Merrimack Valley, and parts of the Monadnock region are in severe drought.
Last week, the state was about 13% severe drought. This week, that's now jumped to 25% of the state.
Currently, about 230,000 residents are under some type of water restriction. And the Department of Environmental Services is asking people to stop watering their lawns and only water plants in the early morning or at night so that water doesn't evaporate.
The good news is that the weather that we have during the growing season, during the summer, usually does not affect the foliage season that we have here. What I usually tell folks is to take a look out their window. If they see nice leafy green canopies or tree tops, that means the trees are set up for a great foliage season.
Forestry specialist Stephen Roberge says the fall colors depend on fall weather, so as long as the days are shorter and nights chillier, there will be plenty of foliage. But if the drought persists, there is some concern for the White Mountains.
The trails are super dry. And what that means is that because they're so dry, they start to really turn into dust. And they start to erode more. And if we have big rainstorms, kind of worried about what happens to our trail systems.
Now, if you have a private well that supplies water for your home, experts say it's good to test that water, as drought conditions sometimes adds to contamination in water levels in those wells. For now, live in Manchester, Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire customers seeing impact of hiked energy rates as bills start to go out. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell saying a federal abortion ban is possible.
Access to care here could be threatened. Don Bolduc, Chuck Morse, and Kevin Smith would all vote for a nationwide abortion ban. Don't let them make abortion illegal in New Hampshire.
Terrible. Definitely nobody wants to pay more than, that's more money than, their usual bill.
I don't like increases myself. I mean, I'm 65,
Running that AC on high is going to cost you even more now that electricity supply rates have gone up. Customers in the Granite State are starting to see the difference as bills trickle in for this month.
We've been communicating to our customers consistently.
New Hampshire Electric Co-op seeing a jump of 77%. Liberty Utilities up 100%, and Eversource's rate rising 112%.
They're starting to see it with increasing significance as the month goes on because it's capturing more days of the month. With that higher supply price.
With inflation causing prices to soar, many families are flipping around their budgets to try and make way for the hiked rates.
We have a budget for every bill that we're paying or every utility we're using, so having utility goes up definitely is going to have to think how you're going to shuffle push the money around.
Eversource is offering assistance to customers who need it.
We're here to help connect them with payment assistance options, flexible payment plans, and budget billing that's available to all customers.
And Eversource customers can also go to eversource.com/billhelp to set up a payment plan. Live in Manchester tonight, Marissa Tansino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Federal judge rules former bus driver accused of stalking boy must stay in jail. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
If you have ever dreamed of having granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, but thought it was too expensive, Bob's Granite Place can make your dream a reality.
Cameras were not allowed inside federal court as Michael Chick appeared for 2 hearings. He waived his right to a preliminary hearing, deciding to jump straight to bail. The 39-year-old Elliott, Maine resident is accused of stalking and threatening an 8-year-old boy who used to ride on his bus route in Greenland. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Chick admitted to putting GPS tracking devices on the victim's parents' vehicles. While executing a search warrant at Chick's home, investigators also found photos and videos of the family while they were out in public, as well as a bag of boys' and girls' underwear. It's unclear as to who the clothing may belong to, but prosecutors say the evidence raises the level of concern for the safety of the victim.
The evidence that's been gathered so far does indicate a sexual interest in minors, as well as the threatening communications that were made to the victim in this case are of particular concern.
Prosecutors also read a statement on behalf of the boys' parents who said they are traumatized by the ordeal, calling Chick a predator of the worst kind.
This has been a very difficult and trying time for them.
Defense attorneys for Chick argue he does not pose a danger, considering there is no evidence that he physically touched the victim. Chick's attorneys also point to the fact that he has no criminal history. And now the U.S. Attorney's Office says this investigation remains active and ongoing. Anyone with information regarding this case can call a dedicated tip line. That number at the bottom of your screen, 603-722-1751. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Poll shows strong lead for Trump among New Hampshire Republicans. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
New Hampshire Republican voters still prefer former President Donald Trump as their candidate if he were to run again for the White House in 2024. The latest St. Anselm College Survey Center poll puts him at 50% support. The only other possible candidate the Granite State conservative base backs in significant numbers is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who netted 29% in this poll.
We see that Donald Trump still has a commanding lead amongst people who say that they're going to vote in the 2024 primary.
Far behind, but still putting up numbers, are Congresswoman Liz Cheney at 4%, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley at 3%, and former Vice President Mike Pence also at 3%. Trailing them are Senator Ted Cruz, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and Senator Tim Scott, all at 1%. And then Maryland Governor Larry Hogan at less than 1%. Only 9% are undecided.
This poll took place in the immediate aftermath of the FBI search of former President Trump's home, so it may not fully reflect how that incident might have impacted his poll numbers up or down with the GOP base. The bottom line is this: if he decides to run again, Trump is the clear early favorite to win the 2024 first-in-the-nation Republican primary.
It certainly is Trump's party. That hasn't changed at all. And even someone like DeSantis that's certainly getting a lot of media attention, things like that, he doesn't even come close.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire colleges prepare for more normal year-end COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
If you have ever dreamed of having granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, but thought it was too expensive, Bob's Granite Place can make your dream a reality. Granite countertops start at only $29.99 a square foot, and quartz countertops start at only $33.99 a square foot.
The verdict is in, and everyone agrees.
This will be the most normal fall start of a new academic year than we've had for 2.5 years.
We look at this as normal as it could be.
And college seniors are ready for the first taste of a normal school year since they were freshmen.
If we can get a fully normal year, I say that's the best thing for us, and I'm excited to see what happens on campus this year.
I'm pumped. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's a little bittersweet. I think most people feel that in their last year of college.
The excitement for a normal school year is clear. However, universities know that COVID is still lurking around.
COVID is still here. We are still doing testing on campus periodically of faculty, staff, and students. We're giving folks guidance on, how to stay safe.
Certain schools require students, faculty, and staff members to be vaccinated, like St. Anselm.
At St. Anselm, the COVID-19 vaccination is part of our immunization requirements.
Plymouth State does not.
Last year, I think we had about 70% of our students were fully vaccinated, and a higher percentage of our faculty and staff. And I assume that will be the same as we open up, for the new academic year.
Now, it's still summer right now, however, for here at St. A, students are supposed to report back on campus as early as the end of next week. Live in Manchester, Troy Lynch, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report.
Boston trying to make it easy.
We have to work together, residents, city officials, bracing for the fallout of the Orange Line shutdown. Let's take a listen to that video from 7 News, Boston.
Here for shuttles to get where they need to go in some streets around Government Center and Copley's 19 coverage from the steps being taken tonight to get ready for the shutdown to a big mistake being made on some of the signs at Orange Line stations. Let's start off with 7's Kim Lucy. She's joining us live in Medford with the shutdown now less than 24 hours away. Kim.
And with that shutdown less than 24 hours away, crews are continuing to prepare for it tonight. They're planning on painting some lines here on Route 16 in Medford and also putting up a bus lane sign here between Wellington Station and Wellington Circle. All of this with the 24 hours to go until that shutdown begins. Setting up for a shutdown, preparing to paint bus lanes on Route 16 in Medford, slapping signs on shuttles at Government Center, and a lot of concern from commuters.
It's a dress rehearsal for a disaster.
This is going to be chaotic. I don't know what's going to happen. I just think they need a better plan.
My bike, I don't know. I'm hoping the buses run pretty well, but that's my only option right now.
The Orange Line shuts down for 30 days Friday night, with the Green Line north of Government Center following soon after. The MBTA says shuttle drivers have been doing test runs to familiarize themselves with the routes, and officials at Boston City Hall have been working around the clock to prepare.
It will be impossible to avoid chaos altogether. It's just the mere fact that this is a time of year when people are coming back to new routines in the fall, going back in person to work, getting started with school. Adding this extra layer of disruption and uncertainty will mean that people's lives will be unpredictable.
The city and the T are banking on those buses to make things a bit more predictable, creating 2 major hubs to connect disrupted commuters. At Government Center, State Street will be closed between Congress and Washington Streets. At Copley Square, Dartmouth will be closed between St. James and Boylston. And at the Forest Hills Orange Line station, the northbound lanes of Washington Street will be closed between Arbor Way and Williams Street. All of this to try to keep commuters on public transit and out of cars.
One full Orange Line train, if you took all those people and put them in cars, that would be a line of traffic 4 miles long. We do not have space on our roads for that.
MBTA officials also announcing today they will add a shuttle stop in the Chinatown neighborhood. It'll be on Silver Line 4 at the intersection of Surface Artery and Neelan Street. A supplemental shuttle will also go from Government Center to Tufts Medical Center to Chinatown and back to Government Center every 30 minutes. Now, that will only run from 5 to 7 a.m. and again from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Commuters aren't thrilled about it.
They need to get it together. They need to have it like going like consistently for everyone because everyone has their own thing going on different times.
Some commuters tell us with 1 day to go until the shutdown begins, they're ready to just get it over with.
You have to stop and think about, like, things happen. We got to come together. If we work together and not be so angry, we'll probably get through it. But if you get on the train and you're already angry, it's going to be a problem.
Now, drivers will be losing lanes that will be dedicated to shuttle bus lanes and even some parking spaces in the city so as big buses can safely maneuver to pick up passengers. Mayor Wu says police will be ticketing and towing also to keep those lanes clear for the buses. We're live in Medford tonight. Kim Lucy, 7 News 19.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Cops release new video and new details in the Las Vegas car chase. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
I typed in Grandma's name and birth year, and there she was.
At a wild police chase and shootout after a carjacking in Las Vegas. All of it was caught on video. The suspect had been under surveillance for an earlier violent carjacking, so police were on alert. And the chase ended when the suspect plowed head-on into a police K-9 vehicle at 67 miles an hour. Here's ABC's Marcus Moore.
Tonight, just released video showing a harrowing carjacking, chase, and shootout in one of America's busiest cities. A Las Vegas police chopper recording the chaos from above.
He's in the car trying to force the driver out.
Police say the man carjacking a Chevy Avalanche at gunpoint last week was under surveillance after a different alleged carjacking 3 months ago. This time, police in close pursuit. Taking fire, the suspect striking the windshield. One of the officers firing 5 rounds right back through the glass. The suspect getting away, eventually forcing a second motorist to stop and trying to steal her car by gunpoint.
You have to get him stopped.
Now in the supermarket parking lot, police once more firing their weapons. The suspect taking off again, crossing several lanes of traffic. Tonight, police accusing the suspect of purposely crashing head-on into a K-9 police cruiser.
You get hit head-on by someone trying to kill you at 67 miles an hour. We're very fortunate that we're not burying that officer.
Lindsay, it's remarkable no bystanders were hurt. The suspect, 40-year-old Justin Venegas, is now charged with 4 counts of attempted murder and other charges, and he's expected to appear in court next week. Lindsay.
Just incredible scene there, Marcus. Thank you.
Hi.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.